today, somebody shared with me an article by Josh Griffiths titled "YouTube is awful, I'm not posting there anymore." This made me instinctively roll my eyes, but I had not good reason to be skeptical and just does have some solid arguments to make. As we will see now, YouTube can easily be seen as awful, and yet I have decided to make this video and many more. Even worse, I still feel a strong sense of gratitude and affection towards this platform. Why is that? So, YouTube indeed is awful. Let's start with the strongest argument against YouTube presented by Josh. He says that in August 2025, two creators discovered YouTube was using AI to alter their videos without their consent and without telling them. He's referring to Rick Beato and Rhett Schull, who each have channels with millions of subscribers. Beato compared short-form content he shared on YouTube as a short and on Instagram as a reel, and found out that the former had the classic look of AI-generated content, even though it was real. Richie, the creator liaison for YouTube, confirmed on Twitter that YouTube was running a small experiment on selected shorts using traditional machine learning to clarify, reduce noise, and improve overall video clarity, similar to what modern smartphones do when shooting video. On one end is unfortunately correct. I have a habit of using the Pro mode on my Honor smartphone, as that's the only way to avoid AI-based upscaling to be visible in busy parts of the image. It is similar to what modern smartphones do when shooting videos. However, this is something that can easily damage the brands of the people whose content you are modifying. I do not do any AI video, I do not use any AI tools, and I'm certain that if I did it, I would receive a fair amount of pushback from my audience. The idea of YouTube replacing the look of my videos to add AI-generated artifacts without telling me is truly awful. As Josh says, they have opened Pandora's box. They've told the world that they can and will edit videos after they've been uploaded and will not tell creators or viewers. You can't trust anything you see anymore, even from creators who adamantly do not use AI. Sure, it's just an AI smoother today, but tomorrow they could put an ad straight in the video or remove something they don't like. Furthermore, YouTube is taking part in the general swing to right-wing politics made by most major tech companies after the re-election of Donald Trump. They unnecessarily agreed to a settlement of $24.5 million with Donald Trump, and $22 million of that will directly go towards the construction of the famous ballroom. The remaining will be paid to the American Conservative Union and other parties involved in the case, such as conservative writer Naomi Wolf. And of course, they chose to reinstate Donald Trump's YouTube account, which was banned in January 2021. They also rolled out a program to allow previously banned channels to rebuild their presence on YouTube, and this move was also seen as a way to align with the Trump administration. The fear is to see brought back many of the channels that were banned for spreading misinformation. At the same time, YouTube is taking an hard stance against videos attacking Israel and for the genocide that it's committing in Gaza. And as an example, journalists Nikita Mazurov and Jonah Valdez reported that YouTube removed over 700 videos documented Israeli war crimes and human rights violations in Palestine. At the same time, YouTube is running great amounts of Israel propaganda, which contain many factual inaccuracies and that are being ignored by the company. It's easy to see a double standard being applied here. These are, in my opinion, the worst behaviors that YouTube is currently showing to the general public. There are a few more points that Josh is making, though I don't agree as much with them, but for intellectual honesty, let me go through them. Firstly, YouTube is very aggressively cracking down on ad blockers. According to Joss, YouTube chose not to take prisoners, and they didn't care about innocents caught in the crossfire. Not only did they disable videos for anyone using an ad blocking program, they also disabled videos for a lot of people who didn't use any. YouTube more recently shut down one remaining loophole in Firefox to maintain ad blocking, and they decided to enable automatic ad plays on all videos retroactively. Again, I'm quoting, creators have two ways of putting ads in videos. They can place them manually or automatically. If they chose to the automatic option, YouTube will place them about 2 or 3 ads every minute. Placing them manually meant I could put 1 or 2 in the whole video depending on how long it was. But starting in March 2025, they automatically placed ads on all of my videos, newly uploaded and old ones. You are able to turn these ads off, but only individually by editing the videos one by one. I spent hours going through my backlog of videos disabling ads I didn't place. Furthermore, YouTube is integrating AI tools within the creator studios, which are weird. You're now suggested AI generated video titles you should work on, and it even proposes to generate an entire script, voiceover, and thumbnail. Here's what YouTube is proposing for me. If I click on one of these cards, I'm given a button, develop this idea, which generates a hook, a structure, and thumbnails, all of this fully AI generated. And they are bad. I'm happy to report that I'm only discovered about this feature whilst researching for this article, and I'll probably never make use of it again. Of course, this is entirely opt-in for creators. However, Josh claims that this is still part of the general enshittification of YouTube, as it will make it easier to generate low-effort AI slop that will slowly take over the platform. Please note that Josh says, this means that YouTube is absolutely taking all of my videos and using them to train their AI without my consent. And we already knew that large language models were trained on YouTube videos. So years ago we knew that. I wish we could stop looking so surprised when we rediscovered widely known facts. But of course his point still stands. Due to all of these reasons, which you can read more extensively onto his blog post, he has decided to quit YouTube and start uploading his videos exclusively on PeerTube instead. This is a completely reasonable choice, and I will not criticize him for it. However, there are a few things he said that to justify his transition that I would like to criticize. So let's talk about YouTube and monetization. Firstly, let's talk about ad blockers. I'm not gonna come here and tell you that you shouldn't be using ad blockers, but their usage on YouTube has some significant drawbacks. Let me tell you, doing these videos takes a shit ton of work, which is why half of all of the earnings that YouTube make through advertisement is shared with the creators. There's this misconception that we only get a small portion of ad money, but we get half. So by using an ad blocker, you're damaging as creators as much as you're damaging YouTube. Even worse, since I make videos about open source and open source fans are more likely to use ad blockers, it means that making videos about open source is inherently less profitable. If I spent my time covering proprietary software or doing book reviews or talking about any other audience, I would be making more money out of it. Think of the incentives that this creates. If you're part of a community that uses ad blockers more often and frequently, then content that will be interesting to you is inherently less profitable to make. And we're not talking about like large profit margins, but it makes the difference between being able to make videos about a certain topic and not being able to. This is why I push so hard for paid subscriptions and donations. I have very low revenue numbers compared to the amount of views and watch time I get, and making videos is not free, so I have to seek the money elsewhere. And honestly, it's barely working, which is why, by the way, you see this, they Oh, I forgot to update it. It's 6 now of the advent of Nico, where I publish one video every day with the goal of reaching 400 paid subscribers for Christmas. The context is that I decided to quit my job to do videos, and this means that I now need a magic thing called revenue to pay for rent and such. Luckily, I have already more than 100 subscribers amongst Patreon, LibraPay, Ko-Fi, and my website, thelibra.news, where, by the way, you can read this video as an article. To those people, thank you so much, because I don't do sponsors right now, and this is the only way I can do videos. So please help us break even and continue doing videos if you can. Back to what I was saying, I'm not telling you to not use ad blockers, but even worse, actually, I publish all of my videos without advertisement on both PeerTube and Odyssey for everybody to watch, so you don't have to compromise your privacy. What I'm saying is just using an ad blocker has its benefits, but it also has its drawbacks, and those are often ignored. When asked whether he will continue watching YouTube videos, Josh says the following. YouTube, unfortunately, still has a tight stranglehold on online video community. There are dozens of video creators I watch that upload only to YouTube, Nebula, and Patreon. I'd love to support them all on Patreon, but I'm a writer and grocery store worker. I don't have that kind of money, so I myself use ad blockers. In fact, I started using FreeTube and PyPipe recently, which gets rid of all ads and sponsorship segments. This cuts YouTube out of the equation completely, and I still get to watch my favorite creators. Thing is, you're not cutting YouTube out of the equation completely. You're cutting YouTube and the creator out of the equation. Again, by doing this, you're making it harder to make a living by making the kind of videos that you like. It goes on to say, when I was still posting videos on YouTube, I was okay with my audience using ad blockers. I recommend it even. If I had to choose between making $1,000 and only 5 people watching my video, or making $5 and 1,000 people watching, I would take the latter. And if a creator has the mindset of the former, well, I don't mind them not getting my pennies, since they're clearly happy without them. And I feel like this is a flawed worldview when talking about YouTube creators. Again, making videos takes a lot of work and money. I spent a lot to have this equipment, even though right now it doesn't look like it, and I still spent a lot of money to make sure that my collaborators and honestly myself are paid properly. It would be great to have 1,000 people watching my videos instead of 5, but if that means being unprofitable, there's not much I can do about it. I can't lose money on videos regularly. It's not greed. Like, I love making videos, but they take such an amount of resources that I have to make some sort of like business plan when making them. And the same applies to most YouTube creators my size or bigger. This is particularly clear when Josh brings up the difference between YouTube and PeerTube monetization. He says, there are no ads, so I don't make any money from these videos. I make videos because I like doing it, not because I want to be rich and famous. I don't want to be rich and famous. I want to make a living out of this. I want to pay my bills, my collaborators, and have a good equipment to do more videos. I wouldn't be able to afford that if I only made PeerTube videos. I wouldn't be able to afford that if everybody used ad blockers. And again, it's not just me. It's a very common experience amongst creators with any amount of subscribers. So please stop portraying advertisements as a way to get rich and famous, or YouTube videos as something to make just for fun. It's a product that requires work, and work should be compensated, and if it doesn't compensate it, it won't exist. Which gets me to my final point, which is YouTube is a monopoly. Think of a YouTube competitor. You can't think of one. YouTube is often thought as a video hosting service akin to PeerTube. In reality, they are very different products. PeerTube allows you to upload videos for free-ish and share them. YouTube allows you to make a living by uploading videos for free, and no other platform has managed to achieve that. YouTube as a product has two almost unique core features: its ability to match the audience with videos they might want to watch, and its ability to match video creators with advertisers. PeerTube and similar platforms such as Odyssey already have significant issues with the former. As Josh himself writes, PeerTube has major issues, there aren't many creators worth watching, the search system doesn't work well, the mobile app is atrocious, many instances prohibit how many videos you can upload, and creating your own instance is difficult. When I say that I wouldn't be able to do these videos if I uploaded to PeerTube, this is a big part of it. Even if I made a living entirely out of donations, so no advertisement, I would nonetheless have to thank YouTube for managing to get myself known to a new audience. PeerTube and other open source YouTube alternatives severely lack in this department. But even within the commercial world, the ability to pay creators for their work is hard to find. You might think of TikTok or Instagram Reels as a short-form competitor to the long form of YouTube. However, short-form content requires much higher effort to make per minute of video and is much harder to monetize. Users can just scroll away from advertisement. As a result, monetization often comes in the form of reward programs, which are highly unprofitable for the creators. Other platforms have tried to make long-form content sustainable by putting it behind a paywall. I'm thinking of approaches such as Patreons. Even if that works, we're back to the discoverability problem. It's really hard to stumble upon somebody's Patreon page by chance. And as a result, these platforms are often used as a secondary channel while skipping YouTube as the primary way to get discovered. All of this is to say, if you suggest that content creators should not use YouTube, you're effectively saying that their videos shouldn't exist because there is no YouTube competitor to switch to. It's a monopoly. And honestly, it's something that worries me deeply. Monopolies are bad, and it only takes one bad choice by a YouTube executive to leave millions of people across the globe without a job. I could have done better in the pronunciation of this video, but hey, that's what you get. And by the way, fun fact, this is my girlfriend's room because I'm staying over a few days, so this is why I don't have the whole set. That said, thanks for watching and see you tomorrow. Again, links in the video description if you want to help me make all of this. Where's the button?